A coach pushed to the absolute edge. And this isn't just frustration, it's a full blown eruption. And on yesterday's game, Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh completely lost his composure, charging a referee in a moment of pure, unfiltered rage. His own players, including Angel Reese and Michaela Onyewer, and his coaching staff had to physically restrain him, pulling him back from a line he already sprinted across, and he was tossed from the game instantly. But the damage was done. The question isn't what happened, it's why. And what could push a coach who is normally described as a mild mannered to crash out in front of the world? And the answer is found in a brutal foul, a boiling rivalry in a league wide officiating crisis that has finally reached its breaking point. To understand the explosion, you have to see the spark. So let's roll the tape for a minute so you guys can see. I'm gonna mute the audio due to copyright purposes. But you guys see, right? He was flocking like an angry bird flocking to the flocks, boy. Look at him. Look. Gets up. You look at the play. They was grabbing all on him on the Connecticut Sun, grabbing on one of his Chicago players. And this is a coach going to bat for his players, right? And it was like, yo, where's the foul? And that was a foul. That was wild. So he's flocking already over there. Like, yo, what is wrong with you, bro? Get up out of here and get yourself together. You hear me, sir? What is wrong with you not understanding that this is a foul? And I would go out to bat too because this is what leaders do. I mean, not act outrageously like this, but I would go to the sideline, go to the corner, but stay out of bounds and be like, "Hey, man, that was a foul." You know what I'm saying? And this is what the last minute report that the NBA has incorporated to review these fouls if they have been overseen, because we understand these referees are humans, but it's a certain line that is obvious. Even I seen it. I know you guys seen it. Look at it. Just look at the foul, right? So he was furious, boy. He acting like he on the offensive line right now. Well, I should say defensive line in football because he's trying to block the offensive player, which in this case is Coach Tyler Marsh, because he's trying to get around to absolutely sack the WNBA referee as if the WNBA referee is a quarterback. Wintrust Arena. Sky versus the Sun. The Sky's Elizabeth Williams drive to the basket, a routine play that was about to become anything but as she goes up for the shot, the Suns, Aaliyah Edwards, doesn't just contest, she practically climbs onto Williams' back, committing a foul so obvious that everyone in the building saw it. Everyone. That is, except the official standing just a few feet away that I showed you guys. No whistle, no call, no card play, just continued. And it was a moment of sheer disbelief. This wasn't some ticky tacky touch foul or a 50-50 play. This was a player getting mugged on her way to the hoop, and the referees just let it slide. And don't just take my word for it, because after the game, the official crew chief um Eric Bruton admitted it in the poll report. He said, and this is his words: the no call and live play, we did not see the illegal contact, but when we came back and looked at it post game, there was contact which should have been called, and we just missed the play. They just missed the play, right? Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. Because this is getting wild. How you just miss a play like that, right? Let's see. You just missed the play, huh? Am I spelling the man name right? Give me a second, family. They just missed the play. Eric Bruton is the referee, but it's getting out of hand, man. It's getting out of hand, and I'm gonna show you guys Tyler Marsh addressing the situation, because this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. I'm being very grounded here in regards of speaking about the situation. I'm being well rounded when it comes to you know being very um you know, taking my feelings out of it and having a conversation and looking at the situation for what it is. But look, guys, it says full poll report. Poll reporter Alicia Hirsch, Chicago Sun-Times. Date Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. Yesterday, crew chief Eric Bruton, number 55. Game Connecticut Sun at Chicago Sky. Question: what led to the ejection of Tyler Marsh? Bruton, he aggressively came onto the floor after the lead official after a no call that was called, and so that's why he was ejected for aggressively attacking. I shouldn't say attacking, but aggressively approaching the official and was restrained by his team. Question: there was contact on the preceding play between Aaliyah Edwards and Alyssa Williams, what led to the no call at the end. Bruton, the no call on live play, we did not see the illegal contact. But when we came back and looked at it in the post game, there was contact, which we should have been called. We just missed the play, which we should have done a better job of. But how many times are we going to keep letting this excuse slide, bruh? Like, you can't keep saying, oh, we just missed the play. Bro, you need to stop standing there chewing that gum and staring into the abyss like you trying to see birds fly together and flock, bro. Like, look at him, bro. Look at this dude, bro. I want you to see. Look at him. I want you guys to see. Like, look. This referee is sitting here chewing his gum, daydreaming. Look, he's daydreaming, but then acting victim like, oh, I don't know what just happened. Maybe if you stop sitting there doing that and open up your eyeballs and get your 20/20 vision on, you'll be all right. Because this ain't gonna cut it, bro. There's no excuses for this. I'm sorry. You are not absolved from the simple fact of doing your job, and you should have been paying attention in the first place. We ain't going for this. So they just missed the play, a simple omission for what turned into absolute chaos. And for Coach Tyler Marsh, this wasn't just one bad call. It was the latest and most blatant example of his team getting the short end of the stick. And it was the final straw, and he was about to make sure everyone knew it. So this level of fury doesn't just appear out of thin air. It simmers, it builds. And for the Chicago Sky and Connecticut Sun, two struggling teams fighting for pride, the pot has been boiling all season. While their rivalry had a history, the backdrop for this explosion was the 2025 season defined by intense physicality and a growing sense that the officials were losing control of the game across the league. And we know that for a fact. And the story of the season has been one of constant grinding physicality that players and coaches feel is going unchecked. We've seen it play out in game after game, turning basketball into what sometimes look more like a battle of attrition. It's a tension that has been building for months, creating a powder keg atmosphere where any spark could set off an explosion. So when you see Tyler Marsh saw Elizabeth Williams get clobbered with no whistle, he wasn't just seeing a single missed call. He was seeing a pattern. He was seeing the league's failure to manage the game's physicality manifest right in front of him at his players' expense, and he simply cannot let it happen again. Most of the time, when someone is acting outwardly to something, they already have thought of it, right? They just finally took the action to execute on it. And that's what I feel like happened here. So when you look like it, and this is what, look at it, what referees, WNBA refs do to a person. So if you look at it, bro, and I'm gonna just let it play out while we having a conversation, family. I want you guys to hear it out his mouth and what he had to say in regards to the situation. Don't take my words for it. You know, I'd like to pull up the receipts, and that's just what it is. But look, man, this is a coach that said, I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of this nonsense. This is wild. This is this is too much. This is getting out of hand. And we gotta fix this one way or another. And I don't blame them. What do you guys feel about? Let me know down in the comments how you guys feel um about this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with the simple fact of him getting frustrated? Not necessarily the action, but do you guys agree in regards of giving him grace and understanding that, look, this is I'm sick of this, right? I'm sick of this. This is enough. And we got to this ain't we're not doing this no more. So somebody got to sit there and get in their face to make them understand that this ain't what we doing, because apparently we saying it ain't meaning nothing. So this is what Tyler Marsh had to say. He said, I feel like we've been getting the short end of the stick all year, and every time that I got in a tech this year has been in support of our players. There's no accountability on the other side of it, refereeing, and that's the breaking point, right? And I applaud him for it. I applaud him for it, man. I applaud him for it. And the sentiment, you have to understand, he described a system where he and his players are held accountable, but officials who make game altering mistakes face no public consequences. He felt he had to act because otherwise the league wouldn't just admit another mistake behind closed doors and nothing would change on the court. And this sentiment resonated deeply with fans. Many saw Marsh not as a coach who lost his mind, but one who finally stood up against what they see as an incompetent, unfair officiating. And his ejection became a rallying cry for a fan base tired of watching their players get roughed up without protection from the whistles. So while this meltdown was centered in Chicago, the shockwaves are being felt across the entire WNBA. Tyler Marsh's outburst is an isolated incident. It's a symptom of a much larger issue that many feel is plaguing the league, which is an officiating crisis. And through the 2025 season, this narrative of inconsistent and poor officiating has been constant, a constant frustrating drumbeat. And we've seen other coaches like the Indiana Fevers, Stephanie White, get fined after calling the officiating pretty egregious. And we've seen stars like Caitlin Clark get caught on camera arguing intensely with officials. And this isn't just one team's problem. When coaches and players from multiple franchises are all saying the same thing, it points to a systemic issue, and the problem is so widely acknowledged that the Minnesota Lynx star, Nafisa Collier, a VP for the Players Association, has been brutally honest about it, stating, I don't think it's consistent. I think every player would say that, and I think it's getting worse. Yet the league office has at times seemed dismissive. Back in June, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert remarked that no winning team ever complains about officiating, and no losing team ever doesn't complain about officiating, a statement that many felt downplayed their concerns. And more recently, she has acknowledged the issue, stating, we hear the concerns and we're on it. But Tyler Marsh meltdown, therefore, is more than just this one coach's bad day. It's a massive flashing red light on the WNBA's dashboard, representing the collective frustration of everyone who feels the game's integrity, and it's being undermined by a lack of consistency and accountability from the officials. And this whole mess leaves us with a huge debate. On one hand, you got a coach who clearly crossed the line, aggressively confronted a ref and earned his ejection. And then on the other, you have that same coach standing up for his players after a call that officiating crew admitted they blew in a season full of them. So I have to ask you, was Coach Marsh's rejection justified, or did he go too far? And let me know your honest take in the comments, and go a step further. Who is really at fault here? The coach who lost his cool, or an officiating system that repeatedly pushes players and coaches to their breaking point? And in the end, the Chicago Sky lost the game and our coach lost his composure. But the story is much bigger than that, because the image of Tyler Marsh being held back by his own players is a powerful symbol of the 2025 WNBA season, and it captures the raw intensity of a rivalry, that the deep frustration of a team that feels wrong, and the overarching crisis of the confidence in the league's officiating. And while the ejection was inevitable, it forced a conversation the league can no longer brush aside. And it was a moment of chaos, moment of anger, but it also proves to be a moment of consequence. And it has forced the WNBA to confront whether its officiating is keeping up with the passion, the physicality, and the credible talent of its players. And the whistle didn't blow on the court, but Tyler Marsh's eruption was a whistleblower of his own, signaling that for many, the time for simply admitting mistakes is over. The time for real accountability has begun. But I'll catch you in the next one, family. Love you guys. Peace.